Hello, it's Terry with CU Bands and Fans podcast, where musicians tell their story. I am Terry, and my co-host is Zach Woodrup, and he is joining us tonight, of course. Um, and our special music guest is Kevin Williamson. Kevin currently is in a Styx Tribute Band called Anthem's Grand Illusion. Is that correct, Kevin?
That's correct.
All right. So let's talk about that. That's kind of pretty cool. And let me ask you this first.
Sure.
What made you decide to go with Styx?
Okay, so the band Anthem is traditionally just your traditional classic rock cover band playing everything from Journey to, Van Halen, AC/DC. We do all that stuff, but we also did quite a bit of Styx. And when we started doing the Styx music, I just kind of noticed with the players in the band and the way the band sounded, it just was like it was an eerie feeling. Though it was sounded it sounded a lot like Styx. It was really close. I mean, it really, with the voices, they were able to replicate some of the music almost like the record. In fact, a lot of people come up to us and say, wow, that you guys really do the really well and make it sound just like the record. And it's not like we are trying to make it sound like the record and trying to be authentic, but at the same time, it's kind of just happened because of the vocals and the way that band plays and everything. So it was just a light bulb went off and said, "Hey, we should do this and do more of the Styx music because one, back in the day, Styx was actually like a progressive rock band, when they first came out,
Right.
and they got some great music, just great music all the way around. So it's fun to play, it's fun to sing. It's a little demanding, and there's acoustic guitars and keyboards and everything you can imagine. So it's a lot of fun.
I've
There,
viewed some videos. I'm sorry, Zach, go ahead.
is there someone in the band who can do Dennis DeYoung?
Actually, that would be me.
Oh, cool, cool.
Yeah,
I'll have to
I'm
hear
the
you. I
Dennis
haven't heard
young
any of
guy.
them.
I'm like more like the keyboard player, and I kind of switch off. He does. Mark Hofstetter also has a voice with a similar range I do, so we kind of switch off. I do a couple Tommy Shaw songs, and he does a lot of the Tommy Shaw songs, and then we kind of switch off on the Dennis songs.
I watched some video of it,
Mhm.
video that you have out there, and you okay, first of all, your original music, which we'll talk about that here in a minute. Um, for everybody to know that Kevin has some original music, some things that he's recorded himself back in the day. It's been some time ago, but such a classic rock vocals that you have. So I can see why you're doing this because you genuinely have that classic rock sound.
Yeah, that was the key, was having the right voice for to do this type of music. And the stuff we cover, we try to stay within, that's kind of like our limit. I can't really, I'm not one of those growlers or, the guys that could you know, just really like, like type of sound, or even the guys that like, Iron Maiden singing really, really high, like the whole song or whatever. No, we got to stay right, in our roundhouse there, right in the classic rock, right, mainstream classic rock, and that's kind of like where we fit in really well. And so that's what we do.
What was your first and do you do all of what's your song list? Like do you do like Fooling Yourself and Babe and Man in the Wilderness and all of those?
Yeah, the show is like over 2 hours long, and it's getting longer by the minute. It's we keep finding these songs and adding to them, and we do all the hits. Everything you just mentioned, we do. Babe, Too Much Time on My Hands, Mr. Roboto. Mr. Roboto is fun because Mr. Roboto actually joins us on stage, so that's a good thing.
Mhm.
You gotta see that part, at
That's
least that.
entertaining. Yeah.
Yeah, and but yeah, we do all the hits, but then we also do, there's a couple of the songs that, came out and didn't get a lot of airplay, but, they were good songs and most people remember them. One song I could mention is Everything Is Cool, which was on Dennis DeYoung's last album with the band. and it didn't get a lot of airplay. But that's one of the gems that we play. That's a album cut, you know. So
So
we
how long have you been doing this?
so I think we started this in 20, I want to say it was 22,
Oh, wow.
20. Yeah, it hasn't been that long. 4 years. We
And
started.
so,
It took a while to get off because we started it right after COVID, so it was like it's hard to get off the ground. You know,
yeah,
hard to get it going.
yeah. I don't know of any other tribute bands that are doing Styx at all.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I really liked about the idea too, was the fact that there's a lot of Journey bands and a lot of
Fleetwood
Bon
Mac.
Jovi bands and Boston and everything else, but there isn't a lot of stick bands. And I thought, well, that kind of makes us a little bit unique too in that aspect.
Yeah. So you've only been doing this a couple of years. How did you decide who's going to be in this band?
Well, it was basically the anthem. It was the anthem band, and like I said before, when we played Styx, we did like we would do "Come Sail Away" or "Lady," and when we did those songs with the band and we had a different keyboard player. We moved in Mark Hofstetter, and when he joined the band, then the sound kind of changed, and that's when we got that extra voice. And when we got his voice, then and the three of us, the guitar player Len Shalacy and I and Mark are the main lead singers, and our bass player Jim Cairo, he also sings background. So you've got four voices singing, and so when I heard that, when we were doing all those songs during our anthem show, and that's when we got like, oh, we got to do this.
And where did you first play? Where was your first gig?
Our first Grand Illusion show was
Yeah.
at the Addison Rock and Wheels. And the person who runs Addison Rock and Reels, he really did get our foot in the door, and he kind of gave us a little push too. His name is Angelo Sorci, and I'd like to thank him because he was kind of like a part of getting this thing going too, because he offered we were talking about it, and he mentioned, yeah, that would be great, and we'd like to have you at the Addison Rock and Wheels. And so our first show was in front of about 4,000 people
Oh my
at the Addison Rock and Wheels. It's recorded. You
God.
can see it. It's on YouTube, and so that's our first show out there. In
How'd
fact, that
that
first show
go?
I had to have a teleprompter from some of the words because we didn't even really know all the words of the songs yet. That's how. So, so if you'll see the video, you'll see there's a little computer screen that's got the words written out for me.
That's great. And how was the response, audience? How was the audience's response?
Oh, it was fantastic. Everybody those songs are like the ones you mentioned, "Fool Yourself" and "Babe" and "Lady" and "Too Much Time I Had." I mean, everybody knows the words. Everybody knows the songs. Everybody. I mean, we do this part in "Come Sail Away" where I sing like the first line, and then I let the crowd sing the second line, and then I sing, and then they sing, and so it's real. The audience, really participates in the show, and we always get a great response.
It takes people back to a great time, you know,
Sure, sure.
and stakes. So my other question is, uh, what do you do about copyright? Do you have to deal with that at all, being a tribute band?
Yeah, there's kind of like it's kind of like an unwritten type of rule, and so I know that the band is aware of us. I know they are because
That's what I was going to ask
we
you.
yeah, we've actually run into people who are Dennis DeYoung's nephew came out and saw the band at 115 Bourbon Street in Marionette Park, and he came up to the band afterwards and he said, "Yeah, yeah, my uncle's aware of you guys." And actually we played with Dennis. So he not as Grand Illusion, but as Anthem, we opened for Dennis a couple of times. So they're aware of us, and it's kind of like this unwritten thing where, we're not making it's not like we're making tons of money off of this. And it's like, so there's really nothing to come after us for, but in kind of way we're promoting their music as well as they are, so we're kind of helping them out. I think we're giving them some promotion as far as promoting all their music, and hopefully getting people to get out there and buy some old Styx
Six
CD.
tickets, yeah,
Yeah.
some CDs and t-shirts and which aren't they going on tour with
Yeah,
Kevin
they're
Cronin?
still going. They're still pretty busy, and they sound great. I've seen them 4 or 5 times, and they're just awesome live. I can't believe it. Tommy Shaw is still, his voice is still pretty good, and James Young, those guys. Now they have Dennis Gowan on the keyboards, and he is he's just so much fun to watch on stage, and he's a great performer, and yeah, they're still a great band.
Oh,
I
I
keep hoping,
think, go
I
ahead.
keep hoping they'll tour with the Rolling Stones so they can have the Sticks and Stones tour.
That's yeah. That's funny. Somebody actually brought that up to us. They go, "You should do a Stones cover band too, and then you could be Sticks and Stones." But
Well,
no.
let me tell you something. We have a Stones cover band in
Oh, okay.
they're
We
called
should do a
Voodoo
show.
Exiles. They're called Voodoo Exiles, and their front man. They're really, really super good. They are so good and so entertaining. But their front man has these Mick Jagger antics.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it is so much fun to watch those guys. So they should open for you guys, at some point somewhere here in Champaign-Urbana. That
Yeah, that'd be
needs to
great.
happen.
I'd love to do that. That would be
Oh my God.
awesome.
I'm going to connect.
Zach, you got to set that up. Zach, set that up.
Yeah. He will connect you all because that will be so much fun. Oh my God. Okay, so yeah, so speaking of which, you're going to be here. And where are you from? Are you from Chicago?
No, well, originally I am. I'm from Logan Square in Chicago, but I moved out to the Sugar Grove area. So we're all the members of the bands are all over Chicago, suburbs. Some are in Homer, some are in Berwyn, some are in St. Charles, we're all over the place.
Okay.
So, but basically, it's hard to, we just say the band's from Chicago. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
All right. So April 12th, you're going to be in Paxton, Illinois at the Cadillac.
at the Cadillac. That's right. April
Yeah.
12th.
Yeah. And tickets are on sale for that now, right?
At the
Is that a ticket?
CadillacEvents.com. The
Okay.
CadillacEvents.com. Yeah.
Okay. And we'll make sure that that will be on this podcast, that the links and all of that will be here. We're going to help
Okay.
with that. We're
That'd be
going to
great.
be there. I'm going to be there. Are you going to be there, Zach?
Maybe.
Yeah. I'm going to
What
be there
night is it?
because I'm going to take some photos and run some video. So
What night
Yeah.
is it?
I'm sorry, Zach.
What night of the week is it?
I think it's a Saturday.
It's a Saturday, April 12th.
Okay, okay. I
Yeah.
can try to be there. Yeah.
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 So anyway, I was on your website also, which
Okay.
is www.anthembandchicago.com. And there's a lot of great information on there and some videos and it was so much fun to be on your website, checking everything out. Phone number, email, all of that information is on your website. We will also have that attached to this podcast. So let's talk a minute about you individually, your original music, your recorded music, and how did you even begin in music, and what made you go from writing your own stuff, recording, to where you are now?
Wow, that's a lot because I'm an old guy, so it's a lot. You span a lot of years there. But so when I was 14, I saw my first band. They were called Blackwater Gold in junior high, and I said, "Yeah, I got to do that. That's what I got to. I got to be doing that." So I grabbed the guitar, my brother's guitar actually, and got in, started playing guitar, and my brother was a big influence on me. He had a couple friends, and we used to, back in the day, there was not too much to do. You didn't have any, you know, Pandora or anything else to listen to. You just had records and a bunch of guys getting around and just playing guitars and stuff like that. And so I was in the guys, my brother's friend with my brother's friends, and he's 4 years older than me. They were 4 years older than me, and we're sitting around and we're playing guitar and everything, but nobody was singing, you know. So I'm like, no, I'm just gonna start singing, and we're playing 18 by Alice Cooper, and I just started singing, and they all kind of stopped, and they were like, well, why didn't you say you could sing? And I'm like, well, I didn't know I could sing. So so then we ended up forming. That was my first band. We formed my first band with those guys, and they were 4 years older. So I was playing the bars in Chicago when I was 14 years old, and they were all 18, 19,
Gosh.
and we were playing bars already doing that. So I've been doing this for quite a while. So I played in a lot of cover bands, and then at one point, you know, I started writing some music, and the one band I was in, we recorded and did like a little 45 record, and it was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed recording and writing music, and so I just kept doing it, and I got together with a couple different bands and did a lot of recording. I did some back in the 80s, I did commercials. I got in with one studio, and I did a my most famous commercial is One Night at TC Mulligan's. So that was TC Mulligan's commercial I did. And very popular commercial, by the way.
I probably heard that. That
You
sounds
remember that one?
familiar.
Remember that one?
Yeah.
That was me. Yeah. So I did some commercials and a lot of recording and writing and starting to write more music. And then I hooked up with I hooked up with a couple different bands and just couldn't get the right mix until I found the guys in Jamilya. And we found the guys in Jamilya and joined with those guys, and it just clicked, and we started writing. Oh boy, we've written over 100 songs together, and it was great. It was a lot of fun, a lot of great collaboration and everything. And but at the time, now you have to remember this was the late 80s, and we were a type of band. Jamilya was type of band. It was like a Scorpions, Whitesnake type of band, and you know, leather and long hair and everything. And so, right when we released our CD, it was about the same time that grunge came out. You know, Nirvana and Pearl Jam and all those bands, and that just took over the whole scene, and so it kind of left us hanging, and that's kind of like where kind of the music, the original part, kind of ended right there because it's just the way we wrote and the way I write, and it's more mainstream stuff like that, and not so much like the grunge songs. So it was kind of hard to transition. So then I started getting back into being in a cover band.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I got back into being in a cover band, and then we, you know, played for a long time with a few bands, and then I found these guys and 10 years ago, and so we've been together for over 10 years, and it's been great. It's been awesome.
That's wild. That's really
Yeah,
wild.
that's a
So
quick synopsis.
who recorded? Who recorded for you? Where did you
So we
record?
did so we were with the album with Jamilya, we did our CD at Pyramid Audio, and that was Rob Vukolich. It was the engineer on that at Pyramid Audio.
So back in that day, it was CD, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
In
Okay.
fact, our CD, I'll tell you a little bit more about Jamilya. Is our CD was one of the first digital CDs. It was like at that time like now you can just go on your computer, record something, and you know, mix it, move it around and everything. But back then you had to have a special a special computer, special thing that did all that for you. And so our CD was actually digital with no analog, no tape, and one of the first CDs ever do that. Another fun fact about Jamilya Over the Edge is because of, like I said, the grunge scene had just started and it was very popular here in the United States. So we sent our CD overseas to Europe, and we actually got quite a bit of airplay in Europe, and we made the top 100 melodic rock albums uh, in Germany and in Europe. So that was a pretty good accomplishment.
Were
That was a
you
great accomplishment.
so stoked and excited about all that?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was like really at least it's you put your heart and soul into an album like that and into the music and to see somebody appreciating it makes you feel good. It makes you feel better.
So where did the name Jamilya come from?
So the name of the band was Child's Play, and there was another band called Child's Play that got signed to Chrysalis Records before us, and so we had to change our name. And so Jamilya was actually we wanted to get something that nobody else would have, and our guitar player's mother's maiden name, it was an Italian name like Canta Jamilya or something like that. We just
Nice.
kind of cut it short and called it Jamilya.
That's
Mhm.
sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love stories of all of that, like back in the day, how things were done. I mean, well, that's when that was our era too,
Yeah.
so it's fascinating to hear. I love hearing those because it just takes you back to like, yeah, that was work. It was it was work. It was and the joy and the excitement of seeing it come to fruition, on a CD with your cover and the whole thing there's not a feeling like that. I mean, it's not that exciting to load your stuff up to Spotify.
No, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a totally different thing, and like it's like I don't know if you've ever seen like Spinal Tap or anything like that. If you've ever seen that movie Spinal Tap where they're waiting for their album and it comes and it's just all black. And it's like we're waiting for our CDs, we're waiting for the CDs, and then when you get them, it's like, oh, here they are, here it is, and you open it up right away, take a look at it. But yeah, I don't know, it's just totally different than
It's
uploading.
because it's more tangible, you know.
Yeah.
And,
It's
and you
like,
Yeah.
gotta admit that Jamelia was getting so much popularity, they were starting to open it up for national bands on top of it.
oh yeah, is that so? Like what?
Yeah, we opened up for we did quite a few shows and we opened up for um Firehouse and who else
Billy
did we do?
Squire,
Billy Squire, Kansas,
Oh, Bill.
um
ELO.
Electric Light Orchestra. Yeah, we did quite a few opening shows.
So what was that like?
Oh, it was awesome. It was
You
great.
guys
It was like it finally felt like you were, part of the industry or whatever, just part of it. It was
yeah.
so great. I'll tell you a quick story about Kansas. We we walk in, they go, all right, where's our dressing room? Because everybody there was like four bands playing. It was an outdoor event, and we they said, oh, it's down. You got to go down this way and then find your dressing room. We're like the first band, and we're like, we're playing with Billy Squire, Kansas, a band called Blackfoot. I don't know if you remember them, but
Yeah.
they so they show us to the room. We walk in, and so we were in the dressing room, and they had all this food and everything, all beer and pop and all kinds of stuff. And as we were in there enjoying everything and enjoying our nice dressing room, somebody came by and they looked in the door and they're like, "Hey, what are you guys doing in Kansas's dressing room? You got to get out of there." Get out of there right now. We're like, well, where's our dressing room? And they brought us outside to like this like 1960 camper, like this, like it was just a camper. It was just there was like
Yeah.
nothing there.
I love
So that was our dressing room, not Kansas. So we kind of infringed on Kansas a little there. So we owe them dinner.
that is hilarious. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I love. I love hearing about things like that. Um, well, okay, so moving back to this Styx tribute band, which let people know that Tom has joined us. And Tom, you're a promoter. How would you define yourself?
Oh, geez. Just an all-around guy trying to help different musicians, artists, and bands get the word out. Get some acknowledge, and I just feel comfortable with being with Kevin because I've been with him since 1989 in Jamelia, so he is my main core.
Whoa. Yeah, that's a long.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you like a booking agent as well?
I can do that. Yes.
Okay. So are you the one that got them in the Cadillac?
Yes, I am.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for that. I look forward to that show. The Cadillac's
Yeah.
fairly new. It's not even a year old, I don't think.
Correct.
Yeah. So, but I do look forward to attending that. And what else you got to say about this tremendous tribute band?
Me or Kevin?
Either one of you. We
Go
talked.
ahead, Kev.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all I can say is that like I'd said earlier that we play all the hits and then there are some album cuts and stuff and like that. And if you're a Styx fan or even if you're just a music fan, it's a great show to see. The music itself is unbelievable. Like I said, the we have, it goes all the way from all the ballads to all the rockers, and we've got some talented guys in the band, and it's a really great show to see. And like
And
I said, there probably will be Mr. Roboto might be there. I'm pretty sure he's going to be there. So
yeah, I heard that's entertaining. What time does that start?
Starts at 8 o'clock.
Till
eight
until
till probably a little after 10.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
thinking.
Maybe a little more than 2 hours.
Okay, so it's just you guys. There's no other bands gonna be.
As of
I
right
believe
now, they have not put nothing on.
Okay, all right.
No,
Well,
no opener.
okay. I think we'll close with that, and I just want to let everybody know that we will have links to all this information, links to their website, links to their Facebook. They're on Instagram, so hit follow on that. And of course, you'll be on our event list for this show.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And
And we're-
did you have a question, Zach? Or were you?
No, I
Okay.
just said definitely I'll put them on the list.
Okay. And then I've been sharing a few things on our page about you guys. I've been sharing some videos, things like that. But I do want to note, I know it's kind of like at the end of the podcast, but I do want to note that we will have the song that we're going to be playing the intro onto this podcast is gosh darn it, what's the name of that?
I Will Remember You
I Will Remember You
by
by
Jamilya.
Jamilya. Original music recorded back in
1990, let's say 3.
okay. It was that.
I think it was close to that. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, we will have the full song attached to the end of this podcast for your listening. And also go and check these out. Check these videos out. Because Kevin's got this really, really fantastic, tremendous classic rock voice that is just, you're just
Oh,
gonna, yeah, you're gonna enjoy this show. I enjoyed just watching the videos. I can't wait to see you live. I'm gonna definitely hook you guys up with Voodoo Exile so we can have a Sticks and Stones show, which I think will
that'll
be
be fun.
so much fun. Tom, it's always great being in connection with you throughout all these years. Thanks for being on our podcast. And thank you, 105.5 FM, WKIO, Homegrown KIO show. We will
Yeah.
be, go ahead.
I got one more thing. Did you mention how to get the tickets?
I said I would have the ticket link on here.
Okay.
But I'm assuming you can get them from the Cadillac and also from their Facebook page or their website.
Yeah, correct. But it's thecadillacevents.com.
The Cadillac
All
events.
lowercase.
Okay, I'll find that and I'll have the link ready as well. And then I also wanted to know, let me see, blah, blah, blah.
This is an all ages show also. They have to be accompanied by adult.
Thank you for saying that. That's important information. We love all
Yeah.
ages. We love that so much. So the younger people can get involved in live music and stuff. So let me ask you this, Kevin, before we close.
Sure.
What do you like best about doing this? What's your favorite thing about doing?
Oh, my favorite thing about doing this is just the response from the people, is me and meeting people. Actually, you get to meet in our business. That's the one great thing about this business is I get to meet tons and tons of people, and from all walks of life, and it's such a great feeling to be able to connect with people over music.
Yeah, we hear that. All right. Well, it's been fantastic. Thank you for being our guest.
Thank
Stay
you.
stay on board after we get done recording. You guys have a good night.
I used to think that love would last forever. Maybe for some, not me. All the tears I cried would turn to laughter if you'd only say the word. All my tears would fade away. A new dawn would light the day. I will remember you. When I'm old and gray, I'll still call out your name, no matter how much it hurts inside. It's all said and done, you'll still be the only one. Whoa, for me. I thought about the time we've spent together. Was it some kind of dream? Can we sail this ship through stormy weather? Take my hand and follow me. Let your fears all fade to gray.